Moving on to business from the City Council, beginning with Councilmember Baumgarten.
Thank you. Just a few quick things. Attended a awards presentation last night hosted by Assemblyman James Gallagher and Senator Jim Nielsen to recognize and honor graduates of the workforce development or career technical education over at Boyd Hall. This was a signing ceremony, much like you would see for people going to get scholarships. It was there was 40 people that were honored, and it was really a good event. And in concert with trying to make sure that we are addressing the needs of developing our workforce, I think it was an excellent opportunity to recognize these folks as they move on into their trade schools. Things I was able to attend. Thank you, Chief Landon. I was able to attend the badge pinning of Sergeant Slade, a great asset to the police department. Attended the LAFCO meeting. I want to thank Councilwoman Espindola for sitting in for me on the Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency while I had another appointment. And finally, was able to attend the Cap to Cap. And I know there's a lot of talk about trips and their value, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to attend. I wanted to see for myself what value going back to Washington, D.C. and meeting with the staffs of John Garamendi and Doug LaMalfa, as well as interacting with regional civic leaders. And there is value in that. And I was on a public safety committee, which was comprised of both staff members from agencies in Sacramento, Placer County, the Yuba County, et cetera, and some elected officials. And we've put forth some pretty significant ideas to these lawmakers in regards to things like evacuation processes, disaster response. There is value in this. I think you have to monitor it in concert with our ability to afford it. But I was honored to attend. I think it does have value, and I met some pretty important people that will continue to provide their value to our agencies as we reach out to them for their expertise. With that, that's it.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Espindola.
I want to begin by saying I apologize, Councilmember Baumgarten. I wasn't saying your term earlier, so I just want to, I know your heart, so it wasn't in that aspect, so I apologize if it came off that way. And thank you for letting me go to the Sutter Flood Control meeting for you. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a really interesting group of gentlemen, and I learned quite a bit of how quickly a meeting can work, but also how collaboratively that group is. It's really a good group. I also attended the Cap to Cap, and similar to what Councilman Baumgarten mentioned, sometimes you have to go to see it to really know if it's value or not, and there's tremendous value to it. Since coming, I was on the Workforce and Education Committee, which tied well to my background and experience. And coming back, we had the government school liaison meeting with Yuba City Unified School District. So I was able to share with, in that meeting, some of the things that we discussed at the federal level, and being able to work towards some potential changes coming into the future in education. And the whole group were in that, made some really good connections which we're following up and having some meetings here in the near future. So as things develop, I'll share. So we're working on some really interesting new potential things happening. Also went to the with Councilman Shaw and Cardosa. We attended the tour of the temple in Oakland. And that was just a beautiful temple. Oh my gosh. I've never experienced such a tremendous opportunity to see potentially that the Mormon temple, how would I say that? The Mormon temple to possibly maybe develop something locally here in the future. So that was enlightening, and I was very honored to be invited and to go with a group of people. Went to the, as many others, went to the Peace Officer Memorial Ceremony. Well done, Chief. Well done. Even under the circumstances of the rain and thunder and everything else, it was well done with respect. So I won't carry on because I'm sure others will probably share on that. Went to the Citizens Academy graduation. That was another just a really neat event. To see the range of community members and their excitement to be part of our community. One gal was mentioning she was excited about giving people tickets. I'm not exactly sure where she's going to, but I think she wanted to give her husband a ticket, the first one. So, and many other really interesting things have happened recently. The thing that I attended today, and our mayor gave a nice little welcoming remarks this morning at our Sacramento Certified Champions, which is through the Greater Sacramento Economic Council. And Darren was there as well. And I learned so much about the potential and development in our community. And so it was worth the afternoon to be there on a regional basis and learning about how small businesses or large businesses could potentially consider our area as their choice of coming in and being part of our community. So doing more of that. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I start, a famous line from a movie which kind of sums up what my last month has been is, I'm back. I'm not peering through the door, sorry. We came out of tax season and we started and had the honor of working on the budget with the mayor and Diana Langley and Robin and our department heads. A lot of good work done there. I look forward to our budget workshop coming up in about a week. And that's where the biggest part of my time was spent over the last several weeks. Was able to attend the chamber breakfast with the State of the Homeless. Also, it was nice seeing attended the Bank of Feather River flag raising ceremony, and it's nice to see businesses here in town that take the opportunity to fly the Stars and Stripes. But not only that, they went the extra mile and they brought in the honor guard and stuff and did a little ceremony and basically, kicked their first day off right on the corner there of Bridge Street. So I want to say thank you to them for honoring our nation. Government School Liaison, attended that. Look forward to future things coming up there. Basically, it was a lot of sharing of information as far as status of projects. Did some chamber events. If you haven't, check out Natalie Severson Photography, new business there on Plymouth Street. Award-winning photographer, great work, great lady, and I'm glad that they're in our community. The Oakland Temple visit, and Mr. Gale, thank you to you and the entire LDS community for the opportunity to go down. I was able to have some offline conversations with one of the 70s, which I believe was Pantel or something. I can't remember his last name, but you'll know who I'm talking about more than likely. But good conversations there, and looking for the working relationship with us and the Latter-day Saints here in Yuba City. Police Officer Memorial attended that. Chief, again, kudos, awesome job. I like the military pomp and circumstance, and you guys did a good job. So thank you. Very honoring to the falling officers. Citizens Academy, attended that. Great to see the enthusiasm. This place was packed. Yuba Center Transit, attended it. Pretty much business as usual. They're walking through their budget, reevaluating routes. Like everyone else, the biggest concern they have is a rising fuel cost, and that's their biggest concern. And increased ridership do know that it was put forth, and I believe it starts next spring. There will be a dedicated bus route from Sam's Club to the Sutter County Yuba College campus, which is much needed. And so that's going to be going on for a trial basis. And I believe, Mr. Cardozo, correct me, it starts next January, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it starts this fall.
Yeah, semester, yes.
Oh, okay. So it starts in the fall. I was thinking it started in January, but it's coming up. Students that need that, make sure that they use that. And then on Sunday evening, I was able to attend the Freedom Heroes War on Terror Memorial out at Calvary. Awesome service, moving moment. If you have the chance, get out there, check it out. It's not the Vietnam Memorial in D.C., but it's still quite moving to stand there and realize there are 6,545 people that have laid down their lives so that we can have the freedoms and the liberties that we have just since the year 2000. And upcoming events this weekend are open, so go check that out. And with that, looking forward to getting things done. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor Cardozo.
All righty. We haven't had a meeting for a little over a month, so I attended a little over 30 community events, and I'm not going to go into 30 community events. I just want to thank all the folks that invited me. I appreciate it. It's wonderful meeting people in our community and sharing great memories. I was going to highlight on 5 of them, and our council members already called me, but our Yuba City Citizens graduation, that was a great time. I attended the canine trials. If you want to see our police dogs in action, it's a great thing. I mean, they had them go through the cars, find the drugs or whatever's in the vehicles. They had a time limit, and the dog would go through the car within minutes. And then they did testing, trials, and everything. And it was a great time. Then Saturday we went to the fairgrounds. I helped the police department do a fundraiser. Ended up doing 10 miles and 10 flights of stairs, helping them out. Attended the fire department's rib feed. Went to the temple also, and then I attended the Crystal Awards, where the church students picked out a teacher from each school in our district. That was a great time, and then also the Police Officer Memorial, and I'm just going to make it short and sweet. Thank you very much.
There's a lot of stuff. You have to triage it out of here. Sticking primarily to my committees, SACOG, we are part of their programs called Green Means Go and a Civic Lab, primarily focusing on our Bridge Street corridor, when they're eventually going to expand that out to 2 lanes each direction, a 4-lane roadway. So that's on their project. The idea is just to spur economic development, whether it be bicycles or pedestrians or residential, some mixed use projects in there. Hopefully, once we get that done, we can expand that out and grow from there. I had a site visit from James Corliss, who's the executive director of SACOG. He came up. My days are running together, either yesterday or the day before, and I get to give him a run around the city so he can put his eyeballs on everything and kind of have some visual relationship with the things we've been talking about. He was particularly interested in, of course, the Bridge Street corridor, the 5th Street Bridge, since they are funding a major portion of that. And then our bicycle master plan. We have some goals in mind for that, so that is definitely in the works. We're looking forward to some results and getting that on paper. Cap to Cap, I mentioned that 3 of us went to that, and I concur wholeheartedly with the evaluation of my colleagues here. That is a very valuable time. I unfortunately was sick for about half the time of the meetings that I was assigned to. I was on the civic amenities team. I did go out a day and a half early, and the focus on that, and kind of fortuitously, it was on hotels and the value that they bring to a community. I know we're working on trying to get some here to our community, and they were able to clarify some of the many things that a hotel would bring, a meeting room or assisting locals as far as family visits and people traveling and medical, and the list goes on and on. So we're looking forward to that. But it was able to network for some folks, from people from all over our region to get some of ideas what they're doing. We did have a tour, if you will, and a meeting at the Watergate Hotel. So that was also kind of a sideline, interesting history lesson as well, to stand in the room where G. Gordon Liddy was when he was monitoring the break-in of the hotel, or the office building of the hotel. We went on a tour of Kentland subdivision, which is very unique. I would look that up if you have the time. Kentlands, which is in Maryland, a master plan community back in the 80s, but you'd never know. It looks like it was built in the 1780s. They did such a really nice job. They've had 30 years for all the landscaping to mature, and it was just beautiful to see something like that. And there's no reason why we couldn't work on doing something like that here. They'd be really, really wonderful. I had the opportunity to go for a ride on a driverless vehicle. Looks like a cube, if you will, almost like a shuttle. But we're driving through town in National Harbor, Maryland, and there's no driver. So that was really interesting. There was a guy monitoring, of course, because it's still fairly new, but to see that, and it's the same thing that they have. They got a program at Sac State, and they're doing that, moving students to and fro. And right now, it's ideal for closed environments. The one that came to mind regionally would be like, for example, Del Webb's development down there in either, was it Rockland or Lincoln, where it's closed and they're already authorizing golf cart type vehicles on there anyway. So if you program the machine to just stay in that one little area, it seems to be kind of an up-and-coming, very viable transportation option. Attended the emergency preparedness session in here for elected officials to get us all schooled up on the most contemporary plans in place for emergency preparedness. Also attended the chamber breakfast regarding our state of homelessness, received a good report, a very good report, thorough report from Kaya, who was here this evening, and always encouraged to see what progress they're making. The Sabufka, Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency, Finance Committee meeting, several projects moving along. There's one up in Oroville they're working on, also the final 5-ish miles there on the Feather River northeast of 99, and then we're moving on to projects on the east levee of the bypass. And that seems to be going right along. Mike Bissett is the executive director, and he's doing an outstanding job. I, too, had the honor of attending the Peace Officers Memorial Ceremony. Again, very touching, very emotional, brings back some bad memories, but also some good ones. And so it's a very worthwhile and moving experience and ceremony, PA system or not. The intention was there, and it was great. So, and it obviously took a lot of planning, Rob, so thank you for all your folks and the coordination you obviously did with the other agencies. I'm going to give a plug for Very Special Arts. I'm on the board for Yuba City Arts. Very Special Arts is in cooperation with the special education schools here in Yuba and Sutter County. I went to it's an annual event where they have a theme, and the special education students this year it was circus, and so they did a lot of art projects related to a circus, and then they displayed all their works like in a gallery setting, and then they had ribbons, first, second, third, and then everyone else gets a participant. But to see the kids come in there and enjoy that, and we had other art projects. I manned a booth where they got to color visors with the fabric pens and stuff. Just that alone, just for 2 hours, and just enjoy kids enjoying themselves, and it was wonderful. So that was over in Yuba County at Wheatland's Bear River School in Wheatland. And then Friday, they need volunteers, so you're gonna have to let me look at my phone here. If anybody's interested in taking an hour and a half out of your life, and believe me, it's worth it. The same thing as last year, Butte Vista School beginning at 8:30 in the morning, 8:30 to 10:30. All you do is you sit there, hey, I'm here to help. Look for me. I can point you in the right direction. Dave Reed and Abby, Cecina, they do a great job. You just sit in a booth, and whatever art project you're assigned to, you help them with that. Then when that closes down, if you want to stick around, and I encourage you to do so, they have songs and skits and plays and whatnot that they've been practicing for a long time with their teachers, and they put on performance for themselves and the parents. So another one of those win-win things I referenced with the Youth Commission. It's just a great thing for our community. So I could go on and on and on. It's been a month or better since we've had a last meeting, but that sums it up. And I think with that, we re-adjourn into closed session. All right. Thank you very much. Do you have anything, sir?
Nothing from me, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, though.
All right. Diana? Nothing? All right. Thank you very much.